Welcome to this small tutorial. A lot of people have been asking for little tutorials to show people how to start a game off. So it's going to be a very, very basic tutorial. It might get a little bit more advanced as time goes on. And I am doing it in my spare time, so it might be a while until another episode comes out. But yeah, we'll start now. What game we're going to do is going to be like a platformer type, where it's going to give some sort of insight how to do things like death triggers, spawn points, things like that. So we'll start off by creating a couple of folders down here to help sort things out. So we'll put the default directional light into the lights. We'll click there, we'll make one called platform. We'll make another one called triggers. We'll make another one called spawn points. Why not? And we'll make more as time goes on. So first thing I'm going to do is right click, dynamic objects, FPS Kit player. Now this is going to give me some sort of idea how big I want the initial platforms. So we'll right click again, we'll go to basic shapes, cube, normal. Now we'll move that back a bit. You can move left, right, forward and backwards by pressing the WSAD keys. If you hold down shift you go a little bit faster. Same with middle mouse button, roll forward and backwards. Right, okay, so we're going to scale this up a little bit more. Just move the player out of the way for a second. Right, and what we're going to do is click the cube, hold left shift and drag. Again, left click and drag. Now what we're going to do is select left click on one of them, select it, hold control and select the other ones. We're going to hold left shift and drag. We're going to click the middle one, left shift, and drag again, left shift, drag again, left shift, that's about there, and drag, left shift, and drag. Right, that is our basic beginners of the platform. Now what we're going to do is, in the entity list on the left hand side, we're going to click cube, all the way down to cube at the bottom. On any of the cubes in the scene, right click, action, add, physics, rigid body. Now if you click one of them, in the properties over here on the right, you will see physics, rigid body enabled. You can have it dynamic, kinematic, whatever it is. Body type, box, sphere, capsule, convex or mesh. Now they're just cubes, so we'll have them as box. And you get a whole array of different options here. And under the collisions you get different ones here as well. It just opens up for coding. Right, next we need is a spawn position for when the player dies. So right click, basic shapes, capsule, and go up here, gizmo rotate angle, I'm going to set that to 90 degrees. On the left up here, I'm going to select rotate, in the blue there, and we're going to rotate it. See, it rotates it by 90 degrees. We're also going to scale it down for us. Move it up, across. Let's just move that there, a little bit above the scenery here. So we don't want to drop through it, do we? Right, that'll do, I'm not messing around. We'll call it player spawn. And we'll give it the tag of spawn player. There we go. Now what we want to do, I'm going to move the player, just move him to the side there, just so he's on the platform. Now what we need to do, we need to get rid of this default plane here. So select it, delete, it's gone. Right click, basic shapes, cube normal. Let's see what position that's in. Ooh. Move it down a little bit. Move back up again. Scale. Don't want to scale it like that, do we? We'll want to scale it quite low. And again, quite wide. See if the player's actually going to hit that. Yep. Move it forward, because we don't need that much behind us, do we, when we're moving forward? Right. And that is the death trigger, I'm going to call it. Death trigger. We'll call it tag of death. Tag of death. Right. So do we put triggers on the left hand side in the entity list? We'll put the trigger in triggers. Spawn point. Did I do one for spawn point? Yeah, in spawn point. I want to put all these cubes in platform. And put platform under scene. There we go. Right, now here's the interesting part. What did we call that one again? Spawn player. Right, here's the interesting part. We're going to select the death trigger, right click on it, go up to lower, add microscript, click that, then it comes down under the properties here. I'm going to edit the script. Right, so for the death trigger, what did we call it again? Was it player spawn or spawn point? I can't remember. Right, so we need to get the coordinates of the spawn point. So we'll go x, y, z is equal to entity dot get position entity get ID D from tag spawn point. Or was it player spawn? I can't remember now. Not that one. Spawn player we called it. Player. So what that's going to do, that is going to say, right, we want to get the X, Y, Z coordinates from the spawn player capsule, what we'll put down, but we're getting the ID from the tag that was set as spawn player. It's going to get the position and put it within X, Y, and Z. Pardon me. Next, what I want to do, I want to create a function. On trigger, enter. We'll go through this in a minute. Hit ID. I want to say, what shall we call the variable here? Entity name is equal to entity dot get tag from ID. Just capital F there. It's ID. And I'm going to open an if statement. If the entity's name is equal to player, and I always forget to put them in, then sky.outprint player detected. Now we want it to say character dot set position tag. No. We're doing the set position, aren't we? Sorry, yeah, hit ID. See, we all get it wrong. We all get it wrong. X, Y, Z. Yeah. Right, so we've got the position of the spawn player. We're doing a function saying on trigger, on entering the trigger, it's going to get the ID of the player because he's hit the trigger. And we're going to say if entity name is equal to get tag from ID, from the ID that was given when he hit the trigger. If entity's name is equal to tag is equal to player, then we're going to print this line in the console here. And then we're going to say character set position of the hit ID of the character to XYZ, which is the location of the spawn player. So now we need to close that. Saying end. So end the if and end the function. Right, save that. Now what we haven't done is click the def trigger, right click, action editor, and what we're going to do with it, we're going to make it into a trigger volume. Physics trigger volume gives you a little description here saying that the scale orientation of the parent object, use attached script to receive the trigger callback function, which is function on trigger start hit ID, but we've done enter hit ID. So we're going to add that to it. That's how easy it is to add. We're going to make sure that it's when the player enters it. And let's see how that goes. Hey, it works. There we go. So that bit's working. We also need to, now this is all working, we need to go to select the spawn point, visibility, visible is not. So it makes all. So it makes it invisible so we can't see it while we're playing. Right, now on to the next one. What we're going to do is we're going to have some barrels, 2 barrels, drop from about this height through the gap, hit the trigger, and delete the actual mesh in that lot, so it's not falling forever and eating up resources. So we're going to do a if exists command. So if the barrel exists, it's not going to spawn another one, and it's going to delete it. And when it deletes it, it's going to say, hey, it doesn't exist anymore, so we can spawn another barrel in. And that's for both of these gaps here. So let's get started. Alright, we're going to go for utility arrow red, I think. Why not it? Right, let's get that in the decent position. So we'll go from on top to round about where I want it. Shift and drag. Another one there. When we actually spawn the barrels, we'll see the exact position where we want it. And that one there. Right, and because these are going to be fixed and not, what do you call it? Not visible, we don't have to put a physics body on them or anything like that. But what we are going to do, we're going to left control, select one, left control, select the other one, right click, add microscript. That's to both of them. No, no, don't work on that one. And we'll do this one first. So we're going to call this barrel spawn. 01. Barrel spawn down here. It's just something I always like to do, give them separate tags so what their function is actually on the scene. So I'm going to the microscript. Posting it, we need to find the, that's not posting it, on initialization we want to find the location of the spawn point again. So x, y, z is equal to entity get world position. Let's get world position. And I think we're actually going to call the ID this time, because we don't need to, the tag's never going to change on this, it's always going to be present on the screen. So, 15, using the IDs. Pardon me. Now we want it to check on every frame. So we're going to say, if entity exists spawn ID is equal to 0, and then do something. Now, I always like to declare my variables up at the top. You don't have to, unless you, if you just want them to live only within a function. If you want the rest of the script to be able to access a variable, then you're best off putting it at the top, and it's good practice. Equals 0. Make it nice and tidy. There we go, that's better. So we're saying every frame, when it updates, we're saying if the entity from the spawn ID exists, then do something. Right, and what we want it to do, pardon me, we'll need to put another little debugging command in there to help us if there's any problems. So sky lprint. Barrel does not exist. So we're going to say, we're going to print on the console down here. Barrel doesn't exist, so we know that it's actually got that far. It's got into the if statement here. So now we'll need to put spawn ID is equal to entity spawn preset. Dot entity spawn. Let's see on barrel 05. I'll have to show you where I got this from. X, Y, Z. I'll declare the next X, Y, and Z as well. See, I forget about doing things, and then reback, yes. Entity dot set tag, because we want to set the tag of the item we'll just spawn, so we can reference it in the dev script. ID barrel 01. So we're going to set the tag for it as barrel 01. And now that should, I say it should, be it. Of course, I've got more variables up there. X, Y, Z is equal to nothing. Let me just glance through this, make sure it's all well positioned. Alright. If entity exists, spawn ID, which I've declared, is equal to 0, then sky print barrel does not exist. Spawn ID. X, Y, Z. Yeah, that should be okay. That should, he says, and it's not doing it again. Get well positioned. 15. There's nothing in it. Function on update. If entity exists, spawn ID, so it doesn't exist, then sky.lprint barrel does not exist. Put semicolons there as well. Yeah. Spawn ID is equal to entity spawn preset barrel 5 XYZ entity set tag spawn. It looks fine. Well, I've actually done it before. And it was working. There it is, it's falling forever. No idea what I've done wrong there. It looks... it's exactly the same. It looks exactly the same to me, apart from not declaring as much. Anyhow, that bit's done, so we need the def trigger part. So, so we need an if statement. If the entity name is equal to, what did we call it? Barrel 1. Barrel 1. Then entity delayed entity get ID from tag. I'm going to end that F. And see if the code's alright. So, there we go, it deletes it. Hey, got something right first time. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to line that up to where we want it. So about that. Do the same with that one. In fact, we're going to delete that one, copy, drag it across so it's got the scripts attached to it. Script already attached to it. Right, I'll play that and see. Right, that one's bang in the middle. Go to properties, set the name of this one to barrel spawn 2, and we'll do the same with this one, barrel spawn 2. Now, because we've actually got it working, we can actually edit this one here and say barrel 2. And we can copy this one here, paste it in, change the if for barrel 2, and that for barrel 2. And that should be it. No, it shouldn't. Bloody idiot. That's number 16 now, isn't it? So it's a different arrow. There we go. Yeah. Oh, I actually bumped that one. See if we can bump the next one. Has that one stopped? Should work. Yeah, should be perfect that. Anyhow, thank you for visiting me on this one. Looks like we're learning together here. Thank you.